雨風が止んだ時、私たちは再び会えるだろう。
France City, Rinke Avenue. Grey clouds hang over France City. They are seemingly waiting for the rain that never comes. Getting off the bus, a chilling gust of wind makes you shudder. You glance around, carefully identifying the building signs around you and confirming their location. Yeah, this is the agreed application in the information broker's letters. I'm a little early though. There's more than half an hour left. There's a newsstand over there. Perfect. I'll buy a newspaper and wait for him. With the rise of journalism and commercial newspapers, it's common for people in France City to buy and read newspapers chatting about the latest news. At some point, any major or minor news will be published in the newspaper. Whether it's Mr. Brown's fierce dog going around to bite people, soldiers bullying the elderly in the streets after the war, or the workers risking their lives to sue a factory owner. And today's headline on the front page is about another member of the journalism committee has been assassinated.
ブラックマウスによる暗殺。これで何人目だ。委員会に生き残ってる編集者はいるのか。
After buying the newspaper, you hear several people on the side of the road having a heated discussion. The Wicked Rats are a notorious criminal organization that has emerged in France City in recent years. They resort to violent methods to expand their influence, most of which are extremely cruel and vicious. They will burn, kill, and rob anyone.
あと一人、サムってやつが生き残ってるそうだ。運よく隠れてやり過ごせたらしい。闇市でそいつの情報に懸賞がかかってるって話も聞いたな。
懸賞金をかけられた一市民に勇敢な治安隊ですら手を焼く極悪人か。まったくここ最近の治安はひどいものだな。
ああ、娘が不憫でならんよ。この町の夜景がどれだけ綺麗か、あの子はもう覚えていないだろうな。
仕方がないわ。戦争に巻き込まれたんですもの。この町はもう変わってしまったの。
我らがフランスの英雄、フリージャーナリストのリーブラが生きてさえいれば。残念だ。
The justice that the stranger mentions catches your attention. Justice?
半年前、治安隊がブラックマウスの捕獲作戦でトラブルに見舞われ、街中で大騒動を引き起こした。その際、リーブラは治安隊の計画に秘密裏に協力していたそうだが、結局は組織のボスに逃げられ、彼も命を。本当に我々は惜しい人を亡くした。あれからこんな絶望的なニュースばかりが続いて、一体彼がいなければ誰が正義を守ってくれるんだ。
You cast your eyes over the unfurled newspaper in front of you, trying to hide your inner turmoil. Freelance commentator's Justice has been a voice of injustice in France City. He surpassed the limits of media and embarked on dangerous investigations. He attacks all loopholes and malpractice from a legal perspective. Justice reporting and expose during France City's turbulent years helped bring clarity to many systems and policies. Gradually, Justice not only became a role model in the media but also a heroic symbol in the hearts of the France City citizens. But there are still doubts and speculations in your mind about Justice, which is the purpose of your meeting with the mysterious information broker. He chose to work in this industry because you admire Justice. After working in the media for a few years, you don't want to follow injustice's footsteps. Instead, you want to carry on what justice failed to accomplish. You've come up with a general plan for what comes next, and all you need is an answer from the information broker. It's almost time. You put away this newspaper and pull a wrap rose from your bag, its petals still wet with rainwater. The rose is the token of the agreement between you and the information broker. With this rose, you will be recognized immediately. Suddenly, you feel something dripping on your head, which is promptly followed by a curtain of crashing rain. Oh no, I made sure I got everything when I left, but not an umbrella. How frustrating. Whenever I bring my umbrella, it doesn't rain, and if I don't, it pours. The crowd of people heads toward the next station to take shelter from the rain. You burst into a small joke as well. Holding the rose in one hand and the newspaper over your head in the other, you hope your clothes aren't too soaked from the rain. However, after running for a bit, you suddenly hear someone shouting in the distance.
危ない!
You subconsciously turn your head, and almost at the same time, a car seems to skid out of control, hurtling towards you. At that moment, your mind goes blank as your instinct take over to avoid danger. By the time you realize it, you are hiding behind the streetlight railing, and the car crashes into the trash cans with a loud bang. The trash cans are crushed in an instant, thrusting the brown painted cans to reveal sharp pieces of broken metal. Garbage and debris are scattered all around, which becomes even more obscene in the rain. A few crows circle above a car as if their meal had been disturbed. Phew. What's with that car? At that moment, several people get out of the black car. They open the back door while holding an umbrella for the young blonde man that steps out. The young blonde man looks around for a moment, then walks towards you.
お嬢さん、大変申し訳ない。うちの腕の悪い運転手がスリップしたみたいで、危うくお嬢さんを引いてしまうところだった。怪我はない？
Despite the young man's concern, his eyes are chilling. There is no smile in his eyes and no guilt in his tone. I'm fine. You don't know if it's your imagination, but ever since you started investigating the wicked rats, strange accidents have been happening around you. Come to think of it, the car drove right at you, like all those weird incidents in the past. You can't help but be wary. Not saying anything else, you turn to head to a place with more people. However, the young man quickly stops you with a stiff smile on his face, speaking in a quicker tone. He seems to be in a hurry.
お嬢さん、僕の名前はビル。どうやら足を痛めているみたいだ。いい医者を知っているから、僕がそこまで連れて行ってあげよう。
No, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. Your uncle, however, doesn't matter to him. With a raise of his hand, men in black clothes surround you. What are you guys doing? The young man ignores your cries and moves in. Without anywhere to retreat, you can only watch as he grabs you. Just then, a voice in a somewhat threatening tone stops the young man's action.
ビル、私のお客様に失礼だろう。最低限のマナーは守ってもらおうか。
You couldn't help but stare at the source of the voice. A person stands in a long black trench coat holding a black umbrella. Under the umbrella is a pair of deep azure eyes, a color that Francie had not seen in a long time. He walks steadily towards you step by step through the race of windy avenue as if no one is watching. All of a sudden, the nearby cars flutter up from the segment as he frightens.
すまない。長らく待たせてしまったようだ。
The low and gentle voice seems to send winds of warmth that dissipate the tension in your body.
雨に濡れると気分まで落ち込んでしまう。最近は天気も不安定だからな。次会う時は傘を忘れないように。
As he says that, he pulls the umbrella over you. The cold when water no longer splashes on your body. A look of concern flashes across the face of the man standing before you and disappears before you can react.
ところで、私と傘を共有することに抵抗はないか？そう怖がらないでくれ。確かに私はいい人ではないが、人の弱みにつけ込むような悪人でもない。
The man's face is calm and indifferent, his body exuding an unusual temperament, his face dignified. But what he says communicates respect, making you feel comfortable and unable to refuse. In any case, he is the only one who can save you from this dangerous situation at the moment. Thus, you wipe the rainwater away from your face and respond quickly. Thank you very much. I don't mind at all. With a slight nod, he takes another small step towards you. His umbrella, whether intentional or not, happens to block your sight. Just then, you recall what the man in the black trash coat just said. Client and sorry to keep you waiting. Could be the information broker? You release the rose cushion that has been tightly clutched in your hand, then gently touch the soft-pink satin. After the accident, the rose had been battered by the rain. Boy, the rose didn't stand a chance in this merciless rain.
非常なアクシデントも試練のうちだ。雨風をしのいで咲き誇ったバラには独特な魅力が宿る。
Even though he appears to be describing roses, you can tell there's a hidden meaning behind his poetic words, and after saying that, he gives you a long look. You're glad he's doing what you mentioned in the letter, to start a conversation about the token to confirm each other's identity. So, you like roses a lot, Stormy? However, before you can finish, Bill, who was ignored the whole time, interrupts.
左京、これがお前の言う最低限のマナーか？それで彼女がお前の客だって一体いつからだ？
The young man is surprised, but that is just a cover to hide his cruel intentions. The information broker's name is Artem. What do you think? In response to the young man's questions, Artem only nods slightly. His eyes are heavy with no unnecessary movement, his expression as cool as ever.
それ以外に質問がないようならこれで失礼する。
The sharp response is delivered in a forceful manner, leaving no room for negotiation. The man seems uninterested in Bill's last question, choosing to ignore it. Sensing the silence, Artem adds on, as if out of politeness.
どうした？君と彼女の間に何か行き違いでもあったのか？
Artem's tone is cool. Hearing this, the fixed smile reappears on the young man's face.
彼女がお前の客だというなら行き違いがあったかどうかはもう重要じゃない。では良い取引を。
With that, the young man throws you a glance before he leaves. The cold light in his eyes seems to penetrate you, reflecting his reluctance to leave. Watching as he and his men leave, you secretly wonder if they were related to the wicker rat. Just then a voice brings you back to your senses.
ひとまずついてきてくれ。ここでは商売の話ができないからな。
France City, Rinke Avenue. You've tried countless methods and placed tremendous effort to get the contact information of the best information broker in France City. There are mysterious rumors surrounding this broker, and he possesses a wealth of information about everything there is to know about France City. Up until now, the clients of this information broker all have the same thing to say about him. He is cool and cunning. But that doesn't seem particularly accurate given how he just rescued me and the tone of his voice. France City's Sword Tavern. Artem shares an umbrella with you the whole way. You make several left and right turns before arriving at a small tavern named Sword. From the outside, there is nothing spectacular about the small, humble tavern. Artem leads you inside. The rain outside has turned into a drizzle, looking like it might stop at any moment. Before closing the door, you notice Artem flipping over the open for business sign. He is very cautious. Thinking of this, your nose suddenly feels itchy as you let out a sneeze. Did I catch cold? You look for a handkerchief from your bag to dry your hand, but a white towel is given to you.
使うといい。
You freeze for a moment. You look up and realize it is Artem handing you the towel. The expression on his face remains indifferent, but his words give off the illusion that he's a gentleman. You immediately put that thought in the back of your mind. The rain must have done a number on you, clouding your thoughts. You quickly take the towel. Thank you. It wouldn't be apt to describe this cool and cunning information broker as gentle. But he's different from what the rumors said about him. Just then, a woman walks down the stairs. Dressed like a waitress, she looks at you guys in surprise.
あらあら、なんて珍しい。左京さんが他人に優しくするところなんて初めて見ましたわ。
Huh?
財前。この方は私のお客様だ。
お客様なら他にもたくさんいらっしゃいますが。この方は特別なようですね。
目で見たものだけが事実とは限らない。
Artem seems to notice your shocked expression, adding,
お客様が風邪をひいたら体調に支障が出るだろう。そうなれば、こちらの商売にも影響が出てしまう。
Well, I'm in tip-top shape and ready to talk business.
そう慌てなくてもいい。
You nod, focusing as much as you can on drying your hair but unable to contain your surprise. What a strange information broker. You and Artem sit at the bar preparing to start negotiations. A cup of hot water is placed before you. On this rainy night, as media personnel, you are sipping boiled water in the tavern and exchanging information with a cunning information broker whom you've worked so hard to find. These situations, which seem normal individually, are incredible when happening at the same time.
改めて自己紹介といこう。私は情報屋の左京で、彼女は助手として同席させてもらう財前だ。
Celestine takes a beer glass, skillfully and carefully wiping it. When she hears her name mentioned, she looks up and smiles at you. Hello, my name is Sharira.
今日が初めての取引となるため、お互いが不愉快な思いをしないよう、先にはっきりと言わせてほしい。
Certainly, please go on.
まず、私との取引には2つの禁止事項がある。1つ目は、最低限のマナーを破ること。 そして2つ目は原則を破ることだ。ついさっきもあったが、私が一度応じると決めた仕事を他の客が邪魔をする。これが1つ目に該当する。
I recall Artem using the word threshold when talking to Bill. No wonder Bill was so furious that he couldn't speak. Artem won't give a preferential treatment to his clients whether they are good or bad. Then Artem continues.
取引が完全に終わるまで、客と客の間で命を脅かす行為があってはならない。これが原則だ。仮に違反した場合、私には未完了であったとしても、取引を終わらせる権利が生じ、客側には通常の2倍にあたる報酬を支払ってもらう。
So this is the real fees of the information broker. Artem's rules are all in place to ensure the transaction proceeds smoothly. Understood. I can abide by those two rules.
ああ、ぜひそうしてくれ。君は多くの取材や極秘調査を重ね、私との連絡手段を手に入れた。それはつまり、君の能力が十分なものであり、私と取引する資格があると言えるだろう。
You tense up instantly. He even knows how I got his contact information. However, Artem doesn't give you any time to react as he continues speaking.
では本題に入ろう。君が求めている情報がどんなもので、何を引き換えにするつもりなのか。
There's only one thing I wish to know. Is Justice, the freelance current affairs commentator, dead or alive? Upon hearing this, the information broker is taken aback, probably surprised that you would ask for such information.
実に奇妙な要求だ。私がこういうことを許してほしい。リーブラは半年前のブラックマウス捕獲作戦で亡くなっている。そのことはフラン市の市民であれば誰でも知っているはずだ。それなのに君は万難を排して私を探り、疑う余地のない事実を確かめに来た。その理由を聞かせてくれるか？
Of course, I can tell you the reason. After that incident 6 months ago, I started investigating the wicked rats and read up on everything about them. However, in the details of those reports, I always detected faint traces of justice. You deliberately pause at this point to observe Artem's reaction. But he seems adept at controlling his emotions. His gaze wanders for a brief moment, but nothing else is out of ordinary. You continue. So I ventured a guess that maybe Justice is still alive, or maybe there are others like Justice, like me, who are secretly investigating. In any case, Justice is very important to me. If I can confirm that Justice is still alive, I'm willing to work with him. Otherwise, I will continue to investigate the matter on my own terms and fulfill Justice's dying wish. Artem falls silent for a moment, a look of confusion in his eyes.
意志を継ぐか。君はリーブラのことをそれほどまでに理解しているんだな。一体、君はリーブラとどういう関係なんだ？なぜそこまでして彼の安否を追い求め、共に行動したいと望む。
Anticipating these questions, you came prepared, racking your brain to make up a white lie. Because I'm just his girlfriend. Artem, who had been drinking water, starts choking. He looks up at you in shock, the first time he has shown such a visible emotion.
なんだって？
恋人？
You realize Celestine also looks startled, almost dropping the beer glass in her hands.
恋人って言った？私の聞き間違いよね。
Yes. I'm terribly sorry. I accidentally revealed such important information while bartering. In the process of obtaining the contact information of this information broker, you heard the vague mention that Justice was a man, so you deliberately used this as a cover. Whether the information broker contradicts it or not, you can get more information from him, maybe even confirming if he knows Justice. Hopefully, these smoke bombs you prepared in advance will work. However, he seems to think of something that calms him, and his expression returns to normal.
すまない。確かに驚くべき情報だ。何せ、私の持っている情報によれば、彼に恋人がいたという事実はないからな。つまり、その情報は取引には使えない。
You know Justice.
情報を得るのに、知り合いであることは条件にはならない。
So that means you acquired information, right? Well, you're not Justice, and if you don't know him well, how can you be sure he doesn't have a girlfriend? Artem falls silent, not responding, but there is no sign of surrender in his expression. The gaze from his azure eyes resembles the clear blue sky, revealing every thought. Hey, what a cunning information broker. You worry that if you hold out any longer, he'll just pull the plug on the transaction, and you are desperate for information on Justice. So just in case you decide to show hand. Fine then, I'll have to use pull out my ace. I have the details of the Wicked Right's next target. His name is Sam Ryber, right? See the subtle change in articulation, you know that this information can be used in the transaction. I look into him. Not only is he the last surviving editor-in-chief of the journalism committee, but he is also one of the central figures who came up with the plan to arrest the Wicked Right. However, Sam has gone missing for quite some time. Neither the people who want to kill or protect him can find him. You look into Artem's eye, confident about your bargainingship. Maybe I was lucky. I acquired his contact information, contacted him, and verified that it was him indeed. If Justice is really gone, I'll resume my investigation, starting with Sam. Well, can I use this information as payment? Artem seems surprised that you have this information.
まさか、君がここまで用意周到だったとはな。その情報には確かに価値がある。では、私も約束通り教えよう。
Artem pauses for a moment, as if hesitating, but there is some reluctance.
リーブラは、すでに亡くなっている。
Is that so? At that moment, you don't know what kind of expression you have on your face, but it seems to take the information broker by surprise. He seems puzzled. But you don't want to explain, nor are you in the mood. You give him Sam's contact information on a piece of paper and hurry out of the tavern. France City, Rinke Avenue. It's been a long time since you walked alone on the streets of France City at night. The rain has stopped, but that does nothing for the happy feeling in your heart. Justice is dead. How many times have you heard that phrase in the past 6 months? You were so close to accepting that as the truth when you found a glimmer of hope that Justice was still alive, but now that hope vanished as well. You didn't tell the information broker how important Justice was to you, and it wasn't just lip service. Forget it. Now that I've confirmed it for myself, there's no use thinking about it anymore. The most important thing now is to come up with a subsequent plan and finish what Justice started. But at the same time, doubt rises in your heart again. Just before leaving, Artem suddenly calls out to you.
ちょっといいか。最近は何かと物騒だから、軽率な行動は控えた方がいい。
His words leave you puzzled. Looking back from your first encounter to the negotiations, there are details that make you feel. Ever since you mentioned justice, Artem's concern for you seems to extend beyond his capacity as an information broker. Or perhaps he exhibits behaviors that weren't consistent with the rumors about him. Is there something else he wants from me? Just then you feel that something is wrong. It was a little too quiet. You subconsciously pick up the pace and head toward the main street. That was careless of me. I should have finished and come out sooner. There have been dangerous things happening around me recently. What if... Just then you hear hurried footsteps in the distance, followed by an anxious voice.
伏せろ。
Your instincts take over as you duck subconsciously. The sound of gunfire erupts, followed by something flying over your head. Who? After ducking, you don't dare move. Your body feels stiff and your mind goes blank. Doubts roll around inside your mind. You cannot answer them, nor can you think. Suddenly, a familiar presence rushes over to grab you without hesitation, pulling you into a corner.
来るんだ。
You glance instinctively at your savior. Artem? What are you doing here? Artem looks back warily at first. Several people seem to be running in this direction.
説明している暇はない。すぐそこまで奴らが迫っている。私の演技に合わせるんだ。もし奴らを騙し通せない場合、君はここで死ぬ。
Artem speaks quickly and you nod nervously, immediately understand what he means. Okay, but how? But before you can understand the situation, several men in black catch up to you. Front City, Rinke Avenue. Your nerves tense up. The men in pursuit, guns in hand, are panting slightly with fierce gazes locked on you and Artem. Not only that, these guys are somewhat familiar.
驚いた。こんな偶然もあるんだな。
With that, the men make way for the sound behind them. You are taken aback when you see the familiar face. Bill, aren't these the guys that almost ran me over this morning? Bill stares intently at Artem, his eyes dejected as if trying to contain his inner emotions.
親愛なる左京さん。これは一体どういうことだ？すでに二人の取引は終わってるはず。なのに、どうしてまだ僕の仕事の邪魔をするんだ？
取引が終わっていたら、私がわざわざ追ってくると思うか？
なら、どんな取引が残っているのか聞かせてもらおうか。
それは、私のプライバシーに関わる問題だ。
Artem shows you a look which seems to contain profound meaning.
彼女が借りをすべて返し切るまで、双方の取引が完了することはない。
But Bill doesn't seem convinced. He tilts his head, his eyes still cold and murderous.
左京、過度な自信は身を滅ぼすぞ。情報屋でなくとも、ある程度のことはこっちでも調べがつく。 彼女はお前と何の関係もない、ただの一記者だ。そんな人間がお前にどんな借りがあると言うんだ？
They look into me.
左京、ここは互いに譲り合うとしよう。彼女が作った借りとやらを僕たちが返し、お前は彼女を僕に引き渡す。どうだ？悪くない取引だろ？
In a panic, you don't know what expression to show and what actions to take at this moment. The next second, however, Artem smiles, not showing any signs of panic. He slowly raises his hand and strokes the hair on the side of your head. The voice is low with a tenderness that anyone can hear.
どうした？さっきまで平気な顔をしていたのに、まさか怖いのか？
That seems to be a casual question. However, Artem turns around to look at Bill without waiting for you to answer.
その取引はおそらく成立しないだろう。
成立しない？どういう意味かな？
彼女が作った借りは君たちでは返すことができないからだ。無論、このフランシにおける他の誰であってもな。何せ、彼女が奪ったものは私の心だ。
With that, Artem extends his hand to cup the back of your head. Then he tilts his head and leans over, enveloping your entire body into his embrace. His warm breath gently brushes your ears, but that doesn't last very long. Artem's lips stop halfway between the corner of your mouth and cheek. The next second, you hear an imperceptible sound.
私に合わせろ。キスをしているふりをするんだ。
Okay. You whisper back, cooperating with Artem, knowing full well what he means. Artem temporarily thought up these rules to protect you, at the same time wanting to respect your feelings. And with this fake kiss, Bill wouldn't have any excuse to take you away. You have mixed feelings. Suddenly, you feel that Artem, so close to you, is not some cool and cunning information broker. The person before you feels eerily similar to Justice, who may seem cool on the outside, but is actually an attentive gentleman. Artem releases you after some time and pretends to catch his breath. You quickly look down, your cheeks already burning. You don't know if it's a reaction from cooperating with Artem or other reasons.
続きは戻ってからにするとしよう。
You lift your head slightly, thinking that his words are directed at you. However, you realize that he is actually facing Bill. Bill curses a few times, seemingly letting off steam.
これはまた意外だな。いいだろう。好きにすればいいさ。だが、大事な彼女が余計な騒ぎを起こさないよう、今後はしっかりとしつけてもらおう。もしそれができない場合、今後の仕事中、こいつらの銃が暴発しないと保証できなくなる。
Bill speaks angrily before turning around and leading his men away. Your heart doesn't feel reaction until their figures disappear in the distance. They're finally gone. That scared me. Artem distances himself from you, then looks away, not meeting your gaze for some reason.
さっきは失礼した。すまない。ああでもしないと追い払えないと思ってな。
It's fine, I understand. Thank you for coming to my rescue. But can you tell me why you're here? This doesn't sound like the sort of thing a cool and cunning information broker would do. Don't Tell me, it's because of your principles. We already concluded our transaction.
場所を変えよ
City Sword Tavern. When Shu and Artem return to the tavern, Celestine gives you guys a long look.
あら、急に彼女が危険だと叫んで、何の説明もなく飛び出していかれましたが。なるほど。プリンセスを助けに行かれていたのですね。
So he rushed there to rescue me.
ところで、一体何があったんです？先ほどまでとは雰囲気がまるで違いますけど。
Artem remains expressionless. It seems he wants to dodge the question, walking over to have a drink of water. Celestine stares at you with interest. Not knowing how to explain what happened, you quickly sit down next to Artem, pretending to be thirsty.
揃って同じ反応ってことは、まさかそういうこと？
After saying that, Celestine goes about her business with a smile. You look at Artem, the fire of doubt reigniting in your heart. Can you tell me why? Why did you go out of your way to save me? His hand holding the cup of water trembles slightly as Artem sighs gently. He then looks at you solemnly.
実は、リーブラはまだ生きているんだ。
What? Really? He's alive?
ああ。だが彼は、表立った活動はできない。私は彼の協力者であり、友人のようなものだ。君に真実を伝えなかったのは、つまり、
Artem stops all of a sudden. His eyes wander for a moment as if he's deciding what to say. Were you testing me?
試す。そう、試していたんだ。よくそれに気づいたな。
Artem sighs and explains the reason why.
最初、君は何のためらいもなく、半年前に死んだはずのリーブラの話を持ち出した。その時点で、私は疑わずにはいられなかった。君がブラックマウスの手先で、私を脅して情報を盗もうとしている可能性もある。よって、すぐには信用できなかった。けれど、君が帰った後、私はふと気づいたんだ。もし君の話が本当だったとしたら、単独行動している君をブラックマウスが見逃すはずないと。杞憂に終わればそれでよかったが、案の定、私は予想していた場面に出くわしてしまった。間に合って、本当によかった。
Artem looks at you seriously, an apologetic look on his eyes, and you finally understand why the cool and cunning information broker was acting so abnormal. It's okay, it's not your fault, and well, we're even because I'm not just his girlfriend either.
ああ、知っている。
You notice a look of understanding in Artem's eyes. Before you can ask about it, something important comes to mind. Wait, you mentioned the Wicked Rats just now. Does that mean Bill and them are members of that organization?
そうだ。だが、私のこれまでの経験からすると、彼はただの下っ端に過ぎないだろう。
I see. So you're trying to figure out who the leader is through Bill?
ああ。君はなかなか鋭いな。
You can't help but admire Artem's mind and courage. What he did was very dangerous. I see. Anyway, task or not, I think it's good that you're so vigilant. Only then can you protect any real information about justice.
君はリーブラを、そこまで思っているんだな。
Of course, he's the hero of Friend City. He must stay safe. By the way, since we've exchanged so much information, am I a part of your plan now? However, Atom's gentle expression is replaced with worry.
ダメだ。リーブラの代弁者として、そして私個人として忠告する。君はこの件から手を引くんだ。ブラックマウス関連の調査はもちろん、以降の外出も。
You interrupt Artem as he tries to talk you out of it. Though I understand your concerns for my safety, the facts have been laid out. I've been on the wicked rat's radar ever since I began this investigation. I thought they would just let me go, even if I give up. Now, you recall the strange accidents that have happened to you recently, especially the near-death experience just now. It seems there were early warning signs. More importantly, I've already contacted Sam Ryber and scheduled a meeting in person tomorrow. It wasn't easy to get his trust, and I don't think he'll have much to tell you without me there. After all, I'm the only one who knows where he is.
君は。
So, you see, even if I wanted to distance myself from this right now, I can't. And please believe that I'm not acting on impulse. I'll be careful, so let me work with you. Artem falls silent for a few seconds, then seems to reach a conclusion.
そこまで言われたら、断る理由が見つからないな。
Great! By the way, if we become partners, will I get to bid justice? A helpless expression emerges on Artem's face.
彼には他にすべきことがある。こちらは二人で十分だ。
Oh, I see. Alright then. Justice really puts his trust in this information broker. Conceal Estate. The next day, you and Artem head over to a secluded manor where you and Sam Ryber agreed to meet. Upon entering, Sam gets up from a chair and greets the both of you. Although you explained in the telegram that Artem was your partner, Sam is still understandably wary of Artem's presence.
はじめまして。そちらのお方は
スウォードです。
Artem responds coldly, which takes Sam aback, who nods in response.
あなたがスウォードさんでしたか。
You realize Artem is cold and hesitant to outsiders. Those with a poor mental constitution will probably be scared. Wait, now's not the time to be talking about this.
挨拶はこれくらいにして、早速本題に入りましょうか。
はい。
All of you settle down. After verifying each other's identities, the conversation begins. You worry that Sam might be cautious, so you add, My partner is cautious, but that is so we can have a basis for mutual trust.
ええ、お気遣いなく、私もこの方が安心できますから。お互い、ここは包み隠さず話し合いましょう。いろいろと聞きたいこともあるでしょうし、まずはお二人から質問してください。
Sure. Well then, Mr. Ryber, can you tell us why the wicked rats have targeted you?
我々の調査によれば、ブラックマウスの捕獲作戦に参画していたのは、報道委員会だけではなかったはずです。どうして彼らは、報道委員会の人間だけを執拗に狙い、全員を始末しようとしているのでしょうか。リーブラの摘発記事が各新聞社に掲載されることを黙認した程度では、ブラックマウスがここまでのことをするとは思えません。
Upon hearing this, Sam lets out a sigh. Then he pulls out a silver safe box from under the chair where he is sitting.
これは私がずっと保管してきたもので、ブラックマウスの構成員リストに金融関係、契約書などの内部資料が入っています。おそらくはこれがブラックマウスに狙われている理由でしょう。彼らはずっとこの資料を探しているのです。ブラックマウスのボスが逃げたと聞いた時から私は予感していました。いつか必ず奴らが後始末をしに来ると。
Sam holds onto the safe box, a troubled look on his face as he grabs his hair. You move on to the second question. Mr. River, the fact that I was able to acquire information about you and even contact you, was that your intention? Sam looks at you, nodding calmly.
その通りです。死んだリーブラ以外にも危険を顧みず調査を続けている者がいると知ってから、私はどうにかして彼らと会いたいと思ってきました。
No wonder.
だから今回、お二人と会うことを決心したのです。お願いします。どうか私を助けてください。
Sam holds his head, his voice breaking.
こんな生活はもう嫌なんです。昼間はずっと怯え続け、夜も安心して眠れない。これではまるで生き地獄です。
Mr. Riper. Just when you don't know how to respond, Artem takes a step forward, thinking for a moment before speaking in a low voice.
そういうことであれば、念のため、もう一つ聞かせてください。
Conceal estate. Hearing that, Sam freezes for a moment, then quickly nods.
もちろんです。何でも聞いてください。
Artem stares into Sam's eyes, as if interrogating him, or perhaps it is simply to observe him.
このような重要書類を持っているのであれば、どうして治安隊に連絡し、彼らの庇護を求めなかったのですか？
治安隊？
Sam snorts coldly, acting a little agitated. It seems something Artem said made him very angry.
その名前を聞くだけで虫唾が走る。私はあいつらなど鼻から信じていません。
Sam can't help but curse.
すみません。ついカッとなってしまって。でもおかしいじゃないですか。治安隊に我々を守る力があるなら、彼らに守られていたはずの私の友人、同僚の編集者たちはどうして暗殺されたんですか？だから、私はフランシュの治安隊など一切信用していないんです。私は死にたくないです。この書類も誰にも渡しません。これが見つからない限り、私の命は保証されるはずですから。もう誰も信用できないので、お二方に頼るしかないんです。お願いです。私を助けてください。
Sam pleads with his heart, his eyes fill with despair as if you and Artem are his last lifeline. Artem doesn't respond, so you can't say anything rash. You look at Artem, wondering if he and Justice discussed what the response plan was for such a situation. Lost in thought, Artem frowns slightly as he looks between Sam and the safe box. He then speaks slowly as if he finally thought of something. Sam looks up at him.
そういうことでしたら、サムさんを助けるいい方法があります。
本当ですか？ぜひ教えてください。
あなたはブラックマウスに狙われていて、これ以上逃亡生活を送りたくない。
Artem's eyes look in your direction.
であれば、考え方を変えてみましょう。彼らが欲している情報をあえて流し、逆手を取るんです。
Use what they want?
言い忘れていたが、私とビルの取引内容は、まさにサムさんの情報だったんだ。
Sam looks at the two of you with a startled, dazed expression, watching Artem as he continues speaking.
とにかく、慎重に計画を練った上で、サムさんの情報をまき、ブラックマウスをおびき寄せましょ
う。If we're cautious enough, it just might work.
ええ、そうですね。では、私は何を？
Arthur thinks for a moment, falling quiet for some reason.
サムさんは我々に全面的に協力し、何事もなかったかのように過ごしてくだされば、それで十分です。安心してください。計画の前後には必ず身辺警護を手配しますので。
ありがとうございます。そのように動きますので、何卒よろしくお願いします。
Sam seems excited as if he finally sees a glimmer of hope, thanking you guys repeatedly. The plan is going well, but the moment Artem turns around to leave, you notice a heavy expression on his face. Friend City Sword Tavern. The sound of rain in the middle of the night awakens you from slumber. For the past few days, out of safety concerns, you've been staying at Artem 7. But you've been sleeping lightly, not having gotten used to the unfamiliar space. Why is the rain coming down harder? Guess I won't get any sleep tonight. Frustrated, you get out of bed and head downstairs, looking for some hot water. However, much to your surprise, you arrive downstairs to see Artem staring out of the window at the rain. Artem? He doesn't respond. It seems like he heard your voice, but he is too immersed in his own thoughts to respond. The place where Artem stands in the dim corner of the room. It is stormy outside, and a faint light pierces through the window in front of Artem. He looks like a silent and tenacious traveler in the dark night, stopping for a brief moment after a long journey. For some reason, his silhouette looks lonely. You then notice that he hasn't changed into his pajamas. Not knowing how long he's been standing there, you can't help but approach him. Artem, why haven't you gone to bed?
ああ、眠れなくてな。君は？
He speaks lightly, his voice deep, but the contemplative look in his eyes makes you curious. It's nothing. I'm a light sleeper, so the rain woke me up. Are you here thinking about our plan? You seem to be deep in thought on our backpack. Is there something wrong with the plan? Artem looks at you, not responding immediately. It is clear he's still thinking about something.
そういうわけではない。私のこれはただのシミュレートだ。計画を実行に移す前に行う習慣みたいなものでな。雨を眺めていると頭が冴え、物事を冷静に考えられるようになるのだ。
I see. It surprised me to know you have such a habit. Do you like the rain? Artem looks at you and smiles faintly.
いいや、むしろ雨は嫌いだ。雨が降っている日も雨に濡れるのもな。
Huh?
嫌いだが我慢はできる。フランシュの天気はいつも不安定だが、傘さえ持っていれば濡れることもない。
Then why does the rain calm you down if you hate it? Artem places his hand on the glass window. The rain beats irregularly on the window before it slowly drips down, obscuring the night view. It seems to be a silent sorrow pervading the silence.
雨の日は自然と気分が落ち込む。フランシュは雨ばかりだ。生まれてからずっとこうだというのに、私は一向になれずにいる。それはおそらく理由もなく不当に扱われ、苦しみもがく彼らの姿だ。人生における雨の日のように思えてしまうからなんだろうな。
With that, Arthur looks outside through the chilling rain as the memories flood back.
これまでの調査の日々で 私は多くの人々と出会い、多くのことを知った。そして彼らの悲惨な運命を知るたびに、彼らの心に降る嘆きの雨を感じてきた。当然彼らがそのような目に遭う言われなどない。これは同情でも哀れみでもなく事実だ。
Artem. At this point, Artem looks at you, the sadness disappearing from his face.
そういった重みを感じるからこそ、私は冷静でいられる。こうして雨を眺めるたび、心の中で自分を戒めるんだ。理想を忘れず、すべきことを思い出せ。
You can't believe that he's risen. It's difficult to describe the mood you're feeling at this moment, except that Artem is similar to the justice in your mind. The obvious surprise in your eyes leaves Artem stunned. He then adds,
リーブラと親しくなり、共闘を始めたのもそれがきっかけだ。私たちは似たような理想を持っていたからな。
something feels off. Could it be? You look at the side of his face, letting something out casually. It's true that you are very similar to him. In my heart, the two of you are the ones braving through the storm, protecting the peace without regrets or complaints. Do you agree? Artem freezes unexpectedly soon after he asks a strange question.
ずっと気になっていたが、君はなぜそれほどまでにリーブラを評価し、彼のことを気にかけているのだ。確かに彼はフランシュの人々から英雄などと呼ばれているが、もし彼が本当に優れているのなら、ブラックマウスのボスを取り逃がすことも、多くの犠牲者を出すこともなかったはずだ。
You hear the confusion mix into Artem's words. You look at him firmly, revealing the secret in your heart little by little. Artem, I need to make one thing clear. Justice is very important to me. I cannot overstate that. Putting aside outside evaluation and praise, the real reason why I care so much about him, it stems from my own experience many years ago.
過去。
Artem turns to look at you, his eyes full of inquiry and expectation.
よければ詳しく聞かせてくれないか。いや、聞かせてほしい。
Okay. You look out the window at the rain, and the memories from that night many years ago flash in your mind. An evening that should have been filled with despair. On that day many years ago, if Justice Story report hadn't been published in time in the major media outlets, what I would have discovered upon returning home would have been a mother who was fired from her job, lost her salary and dignity, nearly broke down and committed suicide. It was the report that Justice published, however, that shed light on the evil of a factory which incited public outcry and caught the attention of the council. Later, the late old fortress, including my mother, received compensation. I photographed them together, celebrating their happiness in experiencing justice and recovering their lost dignity. Maybe you're right. The field operation on the wicked rats had dire consequences, but I dare say the storm in France City will only get worse without justice. So from that day forth, there is only one objective which I will work for the rest of my life, to become a freelance commentator. I want to be like justice, to bring justice to injustice and darkness. Artem looks at you with surprise, as if your words have moved him. I do, however, want to do more than just follow in his footsteps. There is only one justice, no one can replace him, but I do believe that there must be something that only I can do. It makes me happy just to think that I can bring justice and a bright future to the people. I think maybe justice might have the same mentality. Artem gazes at you with azure eyes like with the waves in the sea. It's the first time he's ever looked at you like that. It feels comforting but also stirs up some emotions within you.
君の言う通りだ。リーブラもきっと同じ思いだろう。調査と報道によって不正や闇を暴き、世の中を少しでもいい方向へと導く。それが彼の願いであり、使命だ。
His eyes become soft and deep, and there is an indescribable surprise in his words.
この世界に自分と似たような理念を持った人間がいて、そして図らずも同じ事件を調査し、同じ局面に立っていた。もし彼がこの戦いが一人の孤独なものでないと知ったら、きっと心から喜んでいただろうな。
Ethan's emotion seems to rise spontaneously, taking you by surprise. A bold speculation overflows from your heart. Artem is exuding a temperament that only justice could possess, not something that a friend could cover up. Unfortunately, now's not the time to ascertain his identity. Once this is all over, you'll have more time to ask him. If you get the chance to speak with him, please also tell him. I would be happy to walk alongside justice.
ああ、必ず伝えよう。
As you look at Arthur's smile, you think if he really is justice, he must have a very important reason for keeping his identity a secret. Some have their own ideals or objectives to pursue. Even if it means hiding who you are, even if it means changing sides, things never change. Arthur is taken aback, his eyes wandering as he turns to the window, almost like he wants to count the raindrops. At this moment, he suddenly turns to look at you.
正体を偽り、立場を変え。
What is it? Arthur doesn't respond, muttering things that you don't understand. Even his deep in thought. The rain continues for the whole night. Train carriage. After a few days, everyone reaches the train carriage as planned, waiting for Sam's arrival. The curtains of the carriage have been drawn, with police officers stationed outside at key locations. However, since Sam doesn't trust the police, you and Celestine make sure the police officers are in plain clothes, ready to take each action.
緊張してるの？
Celestine walks over and taps on the table in front of you, where documents such as the interview manuscript are placed. I'm okay, I'm ready for it, but I had no idea you were from the police force.
ブラックマウス相手に身分を偽るところまで追い詰められたのかと思うと複雑ね。今度こそ絶対に逃がさないんだから。この後、私は外で見張りの任につくわ。あなたも身を守る準備だけはしておいて。もし何かあれば、左京君の後ろに隠れてね。
That won't you. I have to escape with Artem. With that, Celestine turns to leave as Artem gets in the carriage, walking over to you.
どうかしたか？
Nothing. I told Celestine that I would escape with you if anything happens. There is a subtle change in Artem's expression. What was supposed to be a joke is taken seriously by Artem. Artem, just as you're about to ask, Samurai Bird shows up, clutching the silver sieve box in his hands.
ここに来る途中、誰かに見張られている気がしたんですが。
Sam speaks nervously to you and Artem.
ご心配なく。普段通りインタビューを進めましょう。何があっても動じず、全力で我々に合わせてくだされば、あなたの安全は保証します。
わかりました。
You nod. Artem then walks to the back of the carriage to observe the situation outside. Well then, Mr. Riber, why don't we forget the troublesome matters for a minute and get started with the interview? Take your time with my questions, and that will ease your nerves. Leave the rest to the professionals. Sam looks at you, a flash of complicated emotions in his eyes that make you wonder if your eyes played a trick on you. Mr. Ryber, can you tell us about your life, like your family? Not expecting that question from you, he smiles wryly and moves his hand from the safe box to his forehead.
家族？私には今、苦しみの渦中にいるかわいそうな息子がいます。無事でいるといいのですが。
Suffering? Sam's eyes become sharp as he finished that sentence.
ええ、私にとってあの子以上に大切なものはありません。
It seems Mr. River doesn't like this topic. Now then, if you leave this city, would you still want to work in the media?
町からですか。まずは出れるかどうかが問題ですね。
Sam's hand is clenched, shaking slightly as if he's nervous about something. You are at a loss, just as you're about to ask, the carriage shakes violently. At the same time, a deafening explosion echoes from outside. You subconsciously crouch down, fearing that another series of explosions might follow. It takes you a moment for your senses to grasp the truth. There aren't any attacks within the train. There's distant echoes of frightening gunfire and strife come up from outside. Your right ear is buzzing, and you rub it as you sit up frowning. Sam is completely freaked out, trying to make a run for the door. You quickly grab him and speak to him as loudly as you can. Mr. Ryber, it's dangerous outside. They'll kill you if you go outside now. However, Sam can't hear a word once you sit. He turns his head, a dagger somehow appearing in his hands. He points the dagger at you, which leaves you puzzled.
もっと早くにあなたたちと会っていれば、全てが違っていたかもしれない。けど、もう遅すぎる。私はまだ死ぬわけにはいかない。息子がブラックマウスに捕まっているんです。私が死んだら息子は。その手を離してください。お二人が死ねば、私と息子は見逃してもらえるんです。さもなければ。
What did you say? You're unable to process what you just heard when a dagger is thrust towards you. Suddenly, you're pulled backward by someone. A warm and familiar presence envelops you in an instant.
大丈夫か？
Artem, I'm fine. Artem nods as he steadies you. He then quickly runs to the door and shouts outside.
ザイデン、サムさんはブラックマウスが仕掛けた罠だ。今すぐ彼を止めろ。それと、プランを B に変更する。我々の援護を頼む。
You listen blankly, then you hear Celestine's voice.
了解。本気なの？
Artem doesn't respond, or perhaps he's already made up his mind. Without hesitation, he turns and walks towards you. What's plan B?
行こう。話は安全な場所に着いてからだ。ブラックマウスはこちらの計画を利用し、我々を一網打尽にするつもりだし、おそらくは、この列車もじきに爆破されるだろ
う。Station. Artem protects you as the two of you get out of the carriage. The next moment, you witness a shocking scene. Sam's whole body freezes, still clutching onto the safe box. A blossom of blood erupts from the back of his silver suit. The warm rays of the setting sun fall on his body, which collapses slowly to the ground. At the same time, it reveals Bill, the person who pulled the trigger as he blows the smoke from his gun with a sneer. You can't help but shudder. Why? It also seems to be the question on Sam's mind as he tries to utter the same word with his final breath.
どうしてああ、どうして僕が約束を守らないのかってことか。仕方ないだろ。僕は約束なんて守らない。
Blood spreads from Sam's mouth, his hand reaching out desperately to grab Bill's pant leg.
息子だけは。
そんなに会いたいのか。なら早く死ねばいい。
この悪魔が。
Sam shouts with almost all his strength. Then, for some unknown reason, he suddenly looks in the direction of you and Artem. The next moment, he unexpectedly hurls a blood-stained fountain pen in your direction. Almost without hesitation, you pick it up. In the meantime, you hear Sam shouting again in a hoarse voice.
ボスはこいつだ。こいつが全ての。
Ruthless gunshots rang out, almost out of anger. And at the same time, your eyes are covered instantly by Artem's hand. For some reason, your whole body feels cold, the only warmth coming from the hand that covers your eyes. You can't help but touch his hand gently. Artem, why? Why? He's dead. That person is the leader. You speak incoherently as Artem leans closer to you, his hand still covering your eyes. Then he quickly leads you away.
何も見るな。何も聞くな。何も考えず、ただ私についてくるんだ。
Okay. Your voice trembles with that response, and your mind is only left with the firm idea of following Artem. Amidst the chaotic gunfire, the acrid smell of smoke gradually gets fainter. Only when Artem removes his hand from your eyes do you realize that he's taking you to a hidden corner within the carriage.
大丈夫か？すまない。もっと早くに君を連れ出すべきだった。
You shake your head, trying to look calm. No, it's not your fault. It never occurred to me that Bill was the leader. By the way, the fountain pen that Mr. Ryber tossed over. Artem receives the pen and wipes the blood from it. Upon opening it, a piece of paper falls out.
これは金庫のパスワードか。
He gave it to us before he died.
あの時、サムさんは息子の話をしていたが、まさかブラックマウスに先手を打たれ、脅されていたとはな。
Artem puts the piece of paper back in the fountain pen and snaps the pen cap back on with a click. He frowns, clenching the fountain pen in his hand.
サムさんはブラックマウスにとって、我々をおびき寄せるための餌に過ぎなかった。 まさか、最も確率が低いと思っていた事態が起きてしまうとはな。ビル、そしてブラックマウスのボス。二つの顔を使い分け、堂々と私の前に現れたか。
It isn't hard to note the sense of remorse in Artem's voice. You considered that possibility?
ああ。あの夜、君と話したことがきっかけでな。もっとも、考えすぎだと高をくくり、対策を怠ったわけだが。
Despite his frowning, there is a determination in his eyes that you can't understand. You can't blame yourself for that. He's too cunning. What should we do next? You mentioned Plan B.
心配しなくていい。あと少しで。
Artem is about to say something when a figure rushes over with the smell of gunpowder. There is blood on her clothes. Celestine, you've been hit! Celestine gasped for her, handing over the safe box while shaking her head.
私は平気よ。でも、またタイに犠牲が出た。あのクソ野郎どもめ。
こうなった以上、先に進むしかない。
ええ。それで、会場の手段は考えてあるの？
Before Mr. Rival was killed, he tossed this phantom pen to us. The password is inside.
そうだったの。
Celestine sighed. Artem then asked a strange question.
物は用意できたのか？
要望通り、全部揃えてあるわ。でも、本当に？
今までの犠牲をすべて無駄にしたいのなら、私を止めればいい。
What are you guys talking about? Artem takes the safe box in his hand and gives you a long look.
ここから先は声を出さないように。抜け道を使って別のホームに移動し、そこに停車している列車に乗り込む。そこまで行ければ、ひとまず安全だ。
Where are we taking the train to?
隣町のベック。ブラックマウスの勢力外かつ、こちら側にゆかりのある場所だ。
Okay. You find it odd the way Artem is speaking, almost as if he is giving orders. But the thought of him coming with you puts your mind at ease. Artem and Celestine lead you through a dark tunnel with several twists and turns. While moving through the tunnel, you can hear the faint sound of explosions and gunfire not far away. Finally, you arrive at the door. Celestine checks for any commotion outside the door, then goes out first. After making sure it's safe, she signals for you and Artem to follow. Soon you arrive at the entrance of another carriage.
私のことはお構いなく。先に乗っておくわ。
With that, Celestine takes the safe box and the fountain pen on the train. Huh? Why would we need a talk right now? You lift your skirt and step into the carriage. After steadying yourself, you look back at Artem. Artem, what are you waiting for? Get on the train. However, he stands in place, looking up at you slightly, a profound look in his eyes. A thought rises in your mind as your heart sinks. Artem, are you not coming with me? Artem, are you not coming with me? The sun is about to set, its light enveloping Artem's face. It made his expression hard to read. You feel a tightness in your chest, subconsciously wanting to step off the train to see his face beat better. Suddenly, Artem takes a few steps forward, putting his arm on the train railing, his body preventing you from getting off.
席に戻りなさい。もう出発の時間だ。
Why? At least give me a reason. With that, you laugh at yourself. How strange. Why do I keep asking you why after meeting you? You hold the railing next to the door, the cold metal sensation seemingly making you alert. That, however, is in vain. Artem reaches out, placing his hand over the back of yours. His slender fingers are dry and warm.
私はここに残り、あの場所に戻らなければならない。我々が取ったプラン B が反撃のための撤退ではなく、単なる一時的な逃避であると、ブラックマウスにそう思い込ませる必要があるからだ。私が治安隊と共に時間を稼ぎ、相手に情報を与えなければ、彼らはより攻勢を強め、ベックにまでその手を伸ばすだろう。金庫の書類は有力な証拠になるし、今動いてベックの治安隊に連絡すれば、彼らも援軍をよこしてくれるはずだ。
Why but just... A helpless voice from behind you interrupts you.
当初のブラックマウス捕獲作戦が失敗に終わり、多くの人員を犠牲にしたからよ。それに、ブラックマウスの本当のボスが、最大の危険分子が生きているという証拠が不足している状態なの。証拠がなければ援軍は来ないし、例の戦争以降、私たちの内部事情もかなり複雑なのよ。
As Celestine speaks, she passes the safe box past your shoulders to Artem. It looks to be a silver safe box.
他に良さげなものがなかったから、これで我慢して。相当近づいて確認しない限り、バレないはずよ。
ああ、これなら問題ない。
Artem inspects the safe box before placing it at his feet. What if I go back with this safe box? Artem is stunned for a moment and avoids your gaze.
バカなことを言うな。君がそんな危険を冒す必要はない。それに、私が持って現れないと、ブラックマウスは。
That's not the real reason, right? Not the real reason why it has to be you. In reality, you're the one the wicked rights are after because you're justice. The friend you mentioned is just yourself, right?
気づかれていたのか。いつからだ？
I had my suspicions before, but our recent interactions only made me more sure of it, especially that night we talked about the rain. But there must be an important reason why you let justice disappear and choose to operate as an information broker, right? Arthur smiled, shriveling a somewhat relaxed expression.
以前までの私は、自らがリーブラであることを明かさない限り、誰にも気づかれることはないと思っていた。たとえ、リーブラがそのまま消えたとしても、誰一人気づく人間はいないと。だからこそ、君と出会ってからは驚きの連続だった。まさかここまで私を理解し、挙句正体を見破れる人がいるなんてな。
The expression on his face is very calm as he sees this, the light under his eyes shining.
そうだ。私がリーブラだ。半年前、逮捕計画が頓挫してから、私はリーブラの存在を消し、かつて使っていた表向きの情報屋として活動するようになった。その方が何かと動きやすく、各方面の情報収集にも専念することができたからな。
Just then, a crew member next to you reminds you that the train is leaving. You look back at Artem once more, just to see him stuff a letter in your hands. Just as you're about to say something, a gust of wind nearly blows Artem's head away. You quickly pull his head down, then ask him, "A letter, wasn't it?" Artem looks at you, a smile in his eyes. You seem to see the morning glow in them, a gust of wind under the vast blue sky.
君も知っての通り、私は口下手な人間だ。だというのに、君と出会ってからというもの、伝えたいことが次々に溢れてきてな。だがその時間はもうない。私が伝えたいことは、すべて手紙に記しておいた。
It's okay, I don't mind. I'll read this letter. Artem, when will you come to see me? When will we meet again? Artem is taken aback, surprised by your question. Then he smiles again.
おそらく、雨が降っていない日だろうな。雨風が止んだ時、私たちは再び会えるだろう。
For some reason, the vast blue sky in Artem's eyes seems to be getting more and more distant from you, which is strange because he is right in front of you. It's a promise. You have to keep your word. Artem just smiles, not saying anything. You can see thousands of hidden words in his eyes. When the cool handle reminds you of the time again, Artem finally asks,
もし、すべてがうまくいったら、私にチャンスをくれないか。あらゆる肩書きを取り払って、もう一歩、君との関係を進めたいんだ。
You don't expect such a question from him, and it's hard to describe the surprise and excitement of that moment. But just as you're about to answer, an unknown panic makes you resist. I'll tell you the answer when we meet again. Artem, no matter what, you have to come back safely. You have to see me in person for the answer. So promise me that you'll come back safe, okay?
ああ、約束しよ
う。The train speeds forward farther and farther away. The train looks out the window at the dark future. Artem gradually becomes a black line then a black dot in your field of vision until you could no longer see him. When will we meet again? You sit back in your seat as Celestine bandages the wound on her arm.
次はそうね。
Before she can finish, there is an explosion in the distance. There is no time to react, no time to think. You stand up abruptly and look out the window, even wanting to jump out. In the distance, a trail of black smoke rises in the sky. It seems the train station might have been blown up as flames fly in the air. Why was there an explosion? Did the wicked rise already catch up? What happened? Is Artem okay? Your mind is filled with all questions with no answers. The enormous fears and worries hit you, followed by an overwhelming sense of powerlessness. You collapse in your seat. Celestine is silent beside you, offering no conversation or comfort. Some things don't need to be seen. Most of you already know. The explosion causes panic within the carriage, and whispers of gratitude that the train left before the explosion can be heard. After some time, the sky darkens. You suddenly remember something, moving your stiff hand to take out the letter Artem stuck in your bag.
左京くんから手紙
Celestine asked softly, as if afraid of disturbing something. Yeah, he said there were things he couldn't say and wrote them down in a letter. You opened the envelope only to find a piece of letterhead, strangely blank. But it's empty. Did he give me the wrong one? You flip over the letterhead, and when you see the pattern on writing on the back, you freeze. On the back is a rose drawn with a fountain pen, and it looks very much like the white rose during your first encounter with Arthur. Written below it is a line that reads, "Love letter to Rose." Love letter to Rose. It's a wordless love letter. In fantasy where one's profound love cannot be expressed, the most romantic form of love is a wordless love letter. Arthur, an uncontrollable urge rises from within, tears clouding your vision. At this moment, you suddenly understand. Maybe Arthur had planned his own sacrifice. You don't know what he was thinking when he prepared this wordless love letter. Was he worried that he wouldn't see you again? Or worried about the things he couldn't see? But just now, you two made a promise. You can't help but look at Celestine, who has a concerned expression on her face. As an information broker, Arthur must stay true to his word, right?
ええそうね
We made a promise. I think he'll keep his promise and definitely come to meet me, right? Celestine almost chokes in response to you. You smile as you put the wordless love letter back in its envelope. Then you lean on her shoulder, overcome with drowsiness. Perhaps you'll see Arthur when you wake up. A year later, the last of the wicked rats have been apprehended. Investigative reports on the incident are published on the front pages of major newspapers every 2 days. And the name of the story is quite special. Justice and Rose. For a time, people speculated and engaged in heated debates, which caused quite a stir in all over France City. Back City indoor. On a clear day, the golden sunlight streams through the window, shining on the typewriter and pen on the desk. Not far away is an envelope carefully wrapped in a see-through file pocket. As you're reading today's newspaper, you hear the sound of the telegraph and hand over, newspaper still in hand. Another message asking me for an interview. Should I accept it? Just then, you hear someone knocking at the door. Hold on, coming! When you're about to open the door, you ask out of caution. Who is it?
郵便です。
Oh. Hey, wait, this voice. Meanwhile, you have already opened the door. A gust of wind blows, and you can't help covering your mouth in surprise. You can't believe that the familiar figure is standing before you. The newspaper in your hand falls to the ground at some point. One of the scattered pages read, "Justice and Rose."
やっと来たか。疲れてるだろ。少し休もう。食事は後だ。
Did you choose your brooch for its unique style?
これか？いや、特に良し悪しもわからず、手近なものを選んだだけだ。
You didn't know which to buy?
うん。こういうものを選ぶのは得意じゃなくてな。もしよければ、次に買うとき、私と一緒に選んでくれないか。君の意見も聞いてみたい。
The battle with the wicked rats has come to an end. Not long ago, I moved back to France City. That morning, Artem showed up out of the blue, making me wonder if it was only a dream from missing him too much. To this day, I still can't believe it. So recently, whenever I have the time, I visit Artem at the pub. Artem, I've been meaning to ask you, why do you wear a hat indoors? Aren't you hot?
ああ、これか？習慣だ。
Recently, I always see you with a hat. I kinda want to see you relax and take it off.
それなら、後で少しだけ髪を整えさせてくれ。でないと見せられない。
I didn't expect you to care so much about how you look.
君の前でだけだ。
Artem, you seem to take that black umbrella with you wherever you go.
いつでも雨をしのげるように持ち歩いてるんだ。それに傘はいろいろと役立つ。
I do use this.
例えば襲われた時、反撃や意表をつける。案外強いんだ。
Wow, I never knew that. But you seem experienced. Do you frequently encounter those dangerous situations?
あ、いや、たまにな。それより、君は反対によく忘れるな。初めて会った日もそうだった。
It pains me to talk about it. Whenever I bring my umbrella, it doesn't rain. But if I don't, it pours. How strange.
問題ない。私のがあるから。嫌じゃなければ、今後は。
What?
つまりだ。傘はたくさんあるから、忘れた時は使うといい。
What a great suggestion. This might be different if I use your umbrella. Did you see something?
1年前、私が聞いたことを覚えてるか？
Of course, I remember it vividly.
では、改めて聞かせてくれ。あらゆる肩書きを捨て、より親密な関係を築いてくれるか？いや、さらにもう一歩。恋人として、傘を差してあげるチャンスを私にくれないか？やはり急すぎたか。大丈夫だ。君が整理できたら教えてくれ。いつまでも待とう。